Okay. So I'm taking you on another walk. This one's just going to be a short one. Neil and I walked some of the other trails yesterday. When I lived here in Alert Bay, this was right down the road from where I lived. So I used to walk here sometimes. And I remember I would sit on the boardwalk and do my homework. But it's really pretty. It was called Gator Gardens then, and apparently the locals still call it that. I was talking to the woman who runs the hotel that we stayed at. But it is officially called the Alert Bay Ecological Reserve these days. Hopefully you can hear the birds. I had a really hard time deciding which way to face the camera today, whether to give you the horizontal or the vertical view. Because everywhere, there are lovely trees. But once we get right into the park, there are really tall, cool trees. There's some really old, like cedar trees in here, and other types. I took a picture of one yesterday, and it's not really obvious from the picture because there's nothing to sort of gauge the size beside, but it's probably 5 or 6 feet, the trunk across.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, it's big. Probably more. I don't know. I'm not a good judge of that thing. When we were here yesterday, it was so sunny and nice. It's sort of damp and gray this morning, and that's okay too. It gives its own atmosphere. But I love all the birds. Just show you, like, it's such, dense forest, and there's definitely lots of tall, skinny trees. Once you get hiking the trails into the more dense brush, then you see some of the really, really big ones. And yesterday we saw someone drying huge strips of cedar on their front porch. There's someone local. There are cultural tours here. You can learn about like cedar weaving, story time. They do salmon barbecues, traditional dancing. But unfortunately, they just don't have those going on right now because of COVID. So even though things have opened back up, they've really just opened back up for traveling within the province. And this is somewhere. Oh, I'm going to pause for a second and show you that there's all kinds of these golden raspberries here. And I was looking them up last night. It seems that they're originally from Asia. And apparently in Hawaii they've become an invasive species, but we've seen quite a lot of them on the island here. Anyway, so things have opened up for travel in the province. And so here we are. But they don't have all the tours running and everything right now. So this is the part that I absolutely love. And of course it's summer. And even though it's summer, it's so lush and green. You can hear the birds. Neil's telling me to come back, because he saw a slug on the sign. Ooh, it's a big, fat, beautiful. I mean, it's hanging out with bird poop, which, I don't know, that's a life choice. But honestly, hello, big, fat slug. Look how big is he? I'll put my thumb in the frame to show you what a big slug he is. Oh, hello, slug. Okay, thanks for showing me the slug, hon. So, like I said, you'll hear lots of birds here, and it's summer, and even though it's summer, it is super lush and green. There are so many plants and lichen and things here that I don't even know if they're found elsewhere in the province, but I'll show you some of these giant plants that are growing out of the water. When I would come here, when I lived here in grade 6, I do remember that the water was right up to the edge of the boardwalk. Because I remember I never knew how deep it was, and I thought it would be deep. You know, when you're a kid, I don't know. I was scared of black murky water, I guess, but I liked to come here and lay on the boardwalk and do homework. Yesterday when we were here, oh, and I can see some now, the camera will not pick them up, but there are so many hummingbirds, and you can hear the crows, obviously. You may also hear the cedar waxwings, because I got quite a few decent pictures of cedar waxwings, and I've only seen them a couple of times in the Okanagan, and I haven't seen them before that. I mean, maybe they were here when I lived here and I didn't notice, but I was a kid, so what do kids know? It was a robin. I was gonna try to film him, but he flew off. So I read a little bit about this place this morning, and I can't remember the people's names, but essentially a couple of guys decided that this would be a good place for a salmon cannery. They needed fresh water for that purpose. So they dammed up some water, and what they did was they created this bog. I mean, they didn't intentionally create this biodiversity here. Really, it was just selfish purposes, but oh, those hummingbirds sound so pretty. Anyway, then apparently, so a lot of the trees died, of course, due to bogginess. It wasn't what they were accustomed to. And then apparently a fire swept through. And so I don't know what year the fire was, but I mean, all of this stuff happened a long, long time ago with the dam and everything. So all of the trees look so, well, the tall ones look so barren and scraggly, and some of them still are burned. But then you have these other ones that, I mean, the lush moss and lichen and everything that hangs off of them, it is so freaking beautiful. I love this place. I mean, I would come here and mark homework these days, I guess. I mean, not that I live here, but that's full circle. Imagine having your assignments marked here. Anyway, so I'm not going to take you around all of the trails today. Like I said, we walked some of them yesterday. Trail number 1 and trail number 2. But I just wanted to show the boardwalk. And this, I took some pictures of it yesterday, which I think is so cool. Someone has hung a skull up in the tree there. I don't know who climbed up there to hang it, but I'll tell you what, that's some pretty cool art. It's like, Georgia O'Keeffe had skulls in the desert, but Alert Bay has skull in the bog. So I think that's pretty cool. And then also when we were here yesterday, we saw another woman taking some pictures. She had a really nice telephoto lens, much better than mine. And so she was taking some decent pictures of an eagle, I think. But it was too far away for me to get good pictures, and that's okay. I got some really pretty pictures of some cedar waxwings, which was lovely for me. Just like the size of the tree trunks. I know it doesn't even really show you in the picture, but, or to show you in the camera, I guess. The tree trunks are huge. Look at the size of the leaves in these plants. That's my shoe and my bag and my leg, and that's how big they are. It so reminds me of like this would have been Jurassic Park land or something. Dino World. So I think we'll just walk down the boardwalk this way and then we'll come back and turn that way. I'll share a sort of funny story. But yesterday I thought, oh, this would be a great place to pull out Happy Fun Ball, or Lens Ball as it's really called, that my wonderful friend Kathleen gifted me. And I pulled it out of the bag and I literally placed it on the boardwalk. And I mean, I took my hand off of it and there was smoke, and I took it off right away, of course. I mean, can you imagine? It was quite impressive. So we've decided that Happy Fun Ball it's a weapon, because dang, you could take somebody out with it. Don't mess with me when I'm hiking. But you know, if you ever need to start a fire, Happy Fun Ball's gotcha. Anyway, no fires were started, but it was shocking. Fortunately, I noticed right away and grabbed it right away, but the intensity of the sun yesterday was quite lovely. Just show you some of the, look at all the spiky spikes. They almost remind me, talking about Georgia O'Keeffe in the desert. It's almost like cactus made out of trees or something. They're so spiky, and just listen to the birds for a moment. I also feel being here that, I wish the camera could capture just how atmospheric and amazing it is here, but I mean, the video doesn't. The other thing that I really enjoyed about this place is, like so many things that we might remember from our childhood or from the past, when we go back and visit them. I mean, I know there's the whole "you can never go home." Who was that, Mark Twain? Anyway, I think, but Don't quote me on it. Quote Mark Twain on it, maybe. Okay. Anyway, you can never go home. Like, places will never be sort of the same. You've changed, the places have changed, etc. But I have to say that, so sometimes, you come back to a place and it's not how you remembered, and maybe it's disappointing. But honestly, when we turned the corner onto the boardwalk yesterday, it was like 100 times better than I imagined it, or remembered it, I should say. Just so incredible. I have never been somewhere quite like this. Yeah, it's not just the moss and the vegetation, but then the, blackened, craggy trees and the boardwalk through it and all the birds. Anyway, let's go check out this bigger tree. This one isn't nearly as big as the one that we saw, like, in the trail. I can't remember if it was trail number 1 or trail number 2 that we saw it on yesterday. But I don't know what that is. Do you? I've stopped. Yeah, okay. Well, it turns out I was just examining some poop with some weird berries or flowers or something in it. But, nothing wrong with examining some wild poop with weird things in it. All right. So some of the trails are narrower and some are, this one you can see it's got lots of roots. I don't know how deep we're going here. I don't even know which trail this is because we didn't take it yesterday. This is trail 2, so it shouldn't be too long. Oh, the one thing I'll show you in here, well, not one thing, a few things I'll show you. First of all, there's some different flowers. Yesterday I noticed there's so many mushrooms growing everywhere. Not surprising given the dense brush, the damp. And then the ferns. Look how, there's so many ferns on Vancouver Island. But these ones, their leaves are so close together. They're obviously a specific variety, and I don't know what variety, so I guess I'll have to learn ferns. I say that like it's a chore, but it sounds really cool. This tree is pretty big, still not as big as the other one that we saw. Oh, I hear something up in the tree, like probably a squirrel or something. Or a bird. Oh, there's a bird. There's always birds. I have to take it slow because I'm sort of trying to watch the camera a little bit here, but also the roots are quite knobbly and there's quite a lot of them. Oh yeah, here's some more ferns. See, look at these beautiful puppies. Oh, here's a old burned out tree. Fires are devastating, but often what's allowed to come back after is pretty amazing. I need to pay attention. Look, there's all these roots. Kind of making steps, but look, it's Jurassic World in here. Like, come on, would anyone be surprised if there was velociraptors hunting us right now? Pretty sure no one would be. Well, apparently I am taking us on a little walk, but not too far. We're getting close to the campground again. There's a little campground at the path. Oh, we're almost back to the start. There's a little campground here, and I don't know if it was here when I was a kid. I don't remember it being here, but you know, who knows? And then we're back to the beginning. So I hope you enjoyed touring Gator Gardens, or now as it's known, the Alert Bay Ecological Reserve. And I'll see you when I'm home.